Hey Dylan, how are you today?
Hey, doing pretty good. It's raining, but I'm living.
We had a tornado last night. We had to get in the storm shelter, but we're okay too. Do you know who Brian Johnson is?
Yeah, that's the live forever, spends like $1 million a year on his health.
Yeah, tech
Looks super
billionaire
pale.
guy.
He might be a vampire.
He might be. Well, he put out a video that I really enjoyed, thought was interesting, so I just wanted to talk about it, see if you find any
Okay.
value in it.
Yeah, nice. I see you got some good notes on here.
Thank you. Basically, it's 8 steps to reclaim your life, and it's talking about changing the systems to reclaim your life. A big part of it is having the energy to go live life rather than just scraping by to where you are living life but not really
Yeah.
putting energy into it. So the idea is to move away from temporary motivation towards long-term biological and personal alignment. Most people are underinformed, overstimulated, and biologically misaligned. So these are 8 steps to kind of fix those. So let's just get into them.
Sweet.
Number 1 is do hard things. So this is talking about if you want to change, you have to put in effort to the change. Nothing valuable is easy, which is yeah. So it takes a lot of effort to make those big changes you need to make to really change your life. So for example, saying like, I don't have time, even the busiest people I know have time to make changes if they want to. You have to make time for the changes you want to make.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is just be okay being uncomfortable if you're working towards something that will make you a better person at the end.
Yeah. I mean, how many people don't reach their goals because the unknown, right? You're little scared to go into the unknown, but on the other end of that unknown is opportunity. Otherwise, you wouldn't want it, right? I always try to think of like, why you hear this all the time, like do hard things and you'll have more fulfillment. I feel like that's because getting fulfilled or like getting what you want it because you don't have it, and you don't have it because you haven't done what it takes to get it. And so you haven't done what it takes to get it because it's hard. And so it's like, why are you in position A versus position B? It's like, because you have to actually move from position A to B. And position B is you're not there because there's effort that it takes to get there. And so, yeah, doing hard things, it's almost like the Navy SEAL guys at Jocko Willink, or is it just the Marines, like embrace the suck? Like if you go in with that mentality, like, yeah, it's difficult, but the reason it's difficult is because you haven't done it yet. It wouldn't be difficult if you'd already done it.
Yeah,
And so, yeah,
exactly.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's why buying something is so unsatisfying, after you bought it. Like,
Yeah.
if you're buying something to try to make you happy, that lasts for like 2 seconds and then
Yeah.
it's the same because it's not hard to spend money. Cool. Number 2, the end is the beginning. So this is talking about prioritizing sleep. When most
Okay.
people plan their day, it starts at wake up at 5, when really it should start at go to bed at 9. You
Mm.
really need to schedule in, getting that sleep. So he has some tips here for like a good wind down ritual. Finish your last meal 4 hours before bed. Eliminate blue light and screens. I think that's in like the last couple hours.
Yeah.
And then go to bed at the same time every night, no exceptions.
Yeah.
I was curious, would you eat your last meal 4 hours before bed?
I have definitely went through a phase where I did that, and I slept better, actually. I think I'm closer to like probably 2 or 3 hours. We actually eat pretty early. We're guilty of ice cream though. Like we'll have dinner at like 5. Like that's a pretty normal dinner time for us, and usually by 9, worst case scenario 11, depending on what's going on. But yeah, we're guilty of snacking before bed, which breaks this rule. But definitely I've felt a difference. When you go to bed on not full, you do sleep better. I have noticed that.
Yeah, that's interesting 'cause I feel like more cozy when I'm full, but
Yeah, same. I think that's probably like some evolutionary, like you feel more secure, you have food in your belly. Like our system has taught us like it's safe to go to bed now because you're
yeah.
nourished. But yeah, there's a we don't have to live life like that anymore. Go ahead. You.
I do want to call you out for saying you go to bed pretty consistently between 9 and 11. That's a 2-hour window.
Yeah, I know. Well, most consistently at 9 because
Yeah.
we try to get to bed by 9, but like on occasion 11. I would say 11, getting to bed later than 9:30 is maybe 20% of the time,
Yeah.
which I've heard The two things I've heard, we both are have been fans of the Mind Pump podcast talking about fitness and stuff. And they've brought up two things that are relevant here, which is the first one I want to talk about is like instead of a morning routine, focus on a nighttime routine. Like everyone's like, here's my morning routine to be productive. It's like that's you need a nighttime routine. And then the second one is own the weekend. So I was saying, it's that 20% of the time we don't go to bed by 9:30 is probably the weekend. And so like another focus there is, yeah, try to do whatever you want during the week, but like own the weekend and you'll naturally start to uh, be better because the weekend's the hardest part to do it. But yeah, a nighttime routine is more valuable than a morning routine for sure in this scenario.
Yeah, for sure. And then speaking of morning routines, number three, start your day with purpose. Don't wake up and immediately start reacting to the world, which is usually from scrolling your phone. You don't want to wake up in that reactive state. You want to give yourself time to take control of the things you can control. So he recommends, wake up at a consistent time every day. Get bright light in your eyes. If you're up before the sun, he recommends like a full spectrum light just to get that initial response. And then move your body, and that'll shift you from a passive to a present state. So that could be some yoga, a walk, just any kind of movement just to tell your body it's time to wake up.
Yeah. Yeah. During the summer, I love going for morning walks. And I feel like that's both of those. Like if you could walk to the sunrise, you're getting the movement and the sunlight, the early light in your eyes. And I notice a huge difference. In Indiana, there's like no sun most of the time, which sucks. And so when the sun's out, I love it. And I do notice a huge difference. At the nighttime, I'm more sleepy. And
Yeah.
it's like I think Andrew Huberman talks about like if you get sunlight in your eyes right when you wake up, it boosts your melatonin when it's bedtime and
Yeah.
naturally. So yeah, that's huge.
Do you use a light on the days there's no sun? Do you have some kind of light?
We had a sad light, but we didn't use it enough because it was like just so bright. It was like
Yeah.
horribly
I think
bright.
you're supposed to not stare at it the whole time.
Yeah, we weren't staring at it, but it was just like so annoying. I don't know. I just hate fake light. Like I have a window here and I have a window here. Like
Yeah.
I put my desk at a spot that had windows because I just love natural light so much. But we've tried one of those lights and it just didn't work for us. I would love to get a bunch of like floodlights essentially. Like instead of, just one light in the middle of a room, just a bunch of lights so it's consistently throughout. That would be much better.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Number four is future proof your body. So exercise is about maintaining capability in your ease and hundreds. Brian Johnson's whole thing is you're going to live past 100. Go ahead and prepare for that now so that when you are that age, you're still thriving. So focus on resistance training to upgrade your body and cardio to increase your VO2 max. It's about lifelong independence, not just aesthetics. So if you've seen him, he's not like jacked, but he's definitely very fit,
He's lean. Yeah.
very lean. So yeah, he's focuses more on like the functional fitness rather than like putting on muscle.
Yeah. The healthy way, not the dysfunctional. I have to work out so I don't fit through doors and people are scared of me. Yeah. It's so difficult because like the minimal stuff is at least when I'm in a phase of working out consistently, I notice the most whenever it's like the little stuff. Like I'm not pushing crazy hard. I'm just doing enough to get some like stimulus to the muscles. So definitely I feel a difference. And I feel like maybe like the working out that I've done in the past and running and stuff has maybe made me better than a third, like in a better shape than maybe a third of other people our age. Like, and I know you've went through some workout phases and running and stuff. Like I feel like just not being afraid of movement and it helps you like even a little bit, gets you way ahead of people. And that compounds the older you get. Like I used to be the fat kid and now I'd still consider myself bigger. But like when you compare yourself to other 30-year-olds, you're like, I'm all right.
Yeah, it's kind of scary how quickly you can get out of shape once
Yeah.
you hit your 30s, you work a desk job.
Yeah. I mean, I read this blog post long time ago and it still stuck with me. Like your goal should be to fit in the same pair of pants you wore in high school, like into your 30s. And that's like, if you just don't gain 100 pounds
Yeah.
since high school, then you're in good shape. And it really does make a difference.
Yeah. I overheard this conversation in the locker room where these two guys were talking. This guy was saying like, man, it sucks getting old. Like my knees hurt, my back hurts. And this other guy's like, well, I don't really have that. And the first guy was like, well, you will once you hit my age. I'm 34. And the other guy was like, well, I'm 35. I've been working out consistently.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh yeah, like you can prevent a lot of those like normal old age
Yep.
problems just by working out. And you don't have to be crazy about it, just consistent resistance training. Number 5 is treat food as medicine. So modern foods are designed to exploit human weakness. So it's not your fault for wanting the fast food. It's literally
Doritos.
so much money has gone into making you want that food. So he recommends switch to whole nutrient dense food such as clean protein, healthy fats, and veggies. And then I like this part is treat all food as guilty until proven innocent to avoid the chronic fatigue caused by poor diet. So don't take any marketing at face value because food companies don't care about your health. They just want to sell the food in that moment. So you really have to take ownership on that to make sure you're eating what you need to be eating.
Yeah, totally agree.
Cool. At number 6, kill the distractions. Smartphones are ultra processed content that's a lot like a slot machine in your pocket. So it leaves you anxious and scattered. Protect your mental clarity by setting strict boundaries, using app blockers, and limiting notifications.
Oh, yeah. I just delete social media from my phone. The only social media I have is LinkedIn,
Yeah.
which is
Which,
getting bad now.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm about to move that one. I have YouTube as well. So I'm
Yeah.
about to move those two off of my phone and only use them for work, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be good. I look at Reddit a lot. I should probably get rid of
Yeah.
Reddit.
Yeah, dude. Slot machine is such a, like, it's engineered to get you to keep going.
Yeah. Especially like short form, like TikTok,
Yeah.
YouTube short. Like it's crazy how addictive it is. And then it is like once that time's passed, you got nothing valuable out of it, but you're overstimulated, so you're not relaxed. It feels like you're relaxing, but it's not relaxing you at all.
Yeah. And if this clip makes it to TikTok or Instagram, stop scrolling, go to infactodigital.com and get these in your email inbox so you don't have to scroll social media to get your AI tech news.
Boom, nice.
Nice. Next.
Next, remove isolation. So chronic loneliness is as damaging as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, according to Brian Johnson. I'm not a doctor. Humans are biologically wired for connection, so prioritize real world relationships that can be over shared meals or social events. And he talks about like being vulnerable with these people.
Mm.
So just building like real friendships and having an actual community where you make time to be with them and be like human with them. Don't just it
Yeah,
doesn't have
don't
to
put up
be
a
peaceful.
face. Yeah. Yeah, you have to have your trusted friend group, like people that you talk to, and as you get older, I think your taste for making new friends, goes down, and so you for me personally, at least, I just, like, I don't want any new friends, I just want, like, my 3 or 4 good
Yeah.
friends I have, like yeah, it's harder as you get older, but it's definitely worth, like, having people that you can talk to, and yeah. It's interesting, loneliness is like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That's crazy what that
Yeah. I
does
don't
with
know
you.
the science behind that specifically, but like I think it does do something in our brain when we are isolated.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And then I liked this last one at the end of watching this motivational video. He says, stop watching motivational videos. Motivation is a trap that gives you the feeling of progress without actually the cost of progress. So, real change comes from self trust, keeping small, boring promises to yourself every single day until you become someone you can count on.
This is my motto this year,
Yeah.
dude. I'll let you go into it, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I feel like you get in that phase where you're like, I want to be inspired. So
Yeah,
you watch, inspirational videos. And then when that's over, you feel really good, even though nothing's different. And then usually that inspiration fades before you do anything about it.
yeah.
So it's
That
kind of,
scratches the itch. It's
yeah,
like yeah, it scratches the itch of what you wanted to do by watching motivational content. This is like with learning. For me, it's like, "Oh, I really wanna get this work done." But it's so easy to watch some expert talk about the work I need to get done.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just that same, it scratches that itch in your head already, and then you're already kinda satisfied and you don't have motivation to go do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that he says, keep the small, boring promises to yourself every day.
Yeah.
And like you'll change so much by doing that. I've been trying to read a book and I only get like a couple pages a day. And
Yeah.
the first week it felt horrible. Like I'm not going to finish this book. But yeah, it's been a few weeks now and I'm like, I can tell I'm a third of the way through the book.
Yeah.
And it feels really good.
It's so satisfying to finish a book because, like, for one, if it's a good book, it's great. It's a good experience, but then it's like You also invested hours of your life into it. You put time away, and it's so valuable just silencing your brain and just focusing on that. It's like a
Yeah.
form of meditation, right?
Yeah.
Because it's also hard to read a book and not think of other things, but you're practicing focusing on that one thing. And so, yeah, reading is good. I need to get back into that. But I said this is my thing for this year because like so this podcast, like we're doing it every week, and like the goal is an episode every day. And so there's a lot of value, and just like I used to get exhausted by like, oh, I got to do this every day. That just feels so boring and it's so exhausting. But there's so much value. Like I already have to eat every day. I already have to sleep every day. So it's the same thing with working out. It's so hard to do a workout. It's like, oh, I have to do this every day. And it's like, why does it actually bother you? It's like the boring things like that that actually get you to where you want to be. And so, yeah, this podcast is kind of my exercise of that, of like value in the boring thing of getting on here and sharing. I mean, it's exciting stuff, but like people don't see that it's actually work. Like every podcast, what dies by episode 25 or something. And if you reach like episode 150, you're in like the top like 0.3% or something like that. Like, yeah. So it's an endeavor, but like that's the practice of this podcast, is practicing doing the boring thing. And it's as fun as it is, it's still like doing the same thing every week.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But it is, yeah, those are the things that a year from now, you're like, wow, I did so much and made so much progress. And, I heard a quote. This isn't from this video, but is the life you want is built in the margins of the life you have now. And that's just talking about finding time in your life to, yeah, work on the changes, towards the life you want to be.
Yeah. The margins, like where there's nothing now, like where there's space.
Where there's space. So if you have a 10-minute walk from the parking lot to your office, maybe that's all the free time you have in the day. Use that to read about AI or whatever you're trying to learn. If you
Yeah.
want to be an entrepreneur, use that time to type into your phone a product idea. Like it's very easy to say I don't have time to do anything else. This is my life, but you do have margins in there that you can take advantage of.
Yeah.
Cool. So the goal from this video, what Brian Johnson's trying to say, is to move from YOLO, you only live once, to a philosophy of don't die. So prolong your health and capability by aligning your daily actions with your future self's well-being.
Yeah. That was a good one. Thanks for sharing that one, Jackson. That one's good. I'll go watch this video now so that I don't
He
have to
said
actually.
don't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen to the podcast while you're going on your walks. Listen to this. You get all you need.
Thanks for listening this week. We'll see you later.
And if you are a small business owner looking for where AI fits in your business, go to infactodigital.com, where we have a webinar that you can sign up for, where we share real case studies, real use cases of AI that businesses are using now and seeing success. So go to infactodigital.com. You'll see a red banner at the top of the site. You can RSVP for that webinar the next time it happens. We do them at least monthly. And if you want AI, business, entrepreneur news in your inbox every morning as part of your morning routine, you can also sign up for our Infacto Daily newsletter at infactodigital.com. All right, and I will see you guys there.
Bye.